Superintendent?
All right. And now my computer went to sleep, so.
My computer quit too.
Do the adoption.
All right. Well, this is one of the best times of the year, so there's several of them in Levy County, and get to celebrate our students and their academic success. And so today we're going to celebrate, so we've got students across the district, and at this time, we're gonna kind of go in reverse order, so with them, Nature Coast Middle School, Miss Casey Woodruff for civics. Casey here? Okay. All right, also from Nature Coast Middle School, so Chase Pitts for Perfect Score ELA. Let's come right over here. Stand right here, and she'll get this good picture. She's wanting to get, so get your good side right here. You'll stay right here. All right, you're gonna get joined. We've got more people coming to join you. All right, congratulations to you, Chase. Also from Nature Coast Middle School, Aiden Campiola. Campagnola. There we go. All right. All right. Let's stand right here. Let's get it. So, Grandma, so. You're doing a great job.
Bless you.
All right. Stand right here. Chase. Probably one of the two of you. So here, let's look here. Look right here. Great job. Nature Coast, nice job. All right. Not here, but I want to make sure it's on the record. So from Williston Middle High School, Zaire LeBlanc from math. So, and then here tonight from Williston Middle High School, Miss Katie Troop from math.
See, that's why it's best to be sitting
Mr. Zaire is not here. All right, moving right along with Chiefland Middle High School. So we've got Jay Hoffenberg for math. Is Jay here? No Jay. Okay. Also from Chiefland Middle High School. So Haley Burton. Here, we'll back up so we don't have so it won't look like a selfie with mom. So. Good job.
Good job,
And now, representing Bronson Middle High School. So first we have Carson Meeks for biology.
Mr. Cobb, I would like to say this is not just a personal achievement. Miss Hutton, get up here in a picture. Without your teaching, this would not be possible.
I said that we're celebrating our students and our teachers' success. And our, so. Moving along. We got some more. So Bronson will have to unfortunately tonight she has other duties. So, but because she is twirling, she's quite a twirler. She travels to Southeast. But Miss Remy Meeks, so from Bronson Elementary. So, finishing Bronson Middle High School off. So with math, Miss Madeline Garner. So. Congratulations. We've also had a perfect score on IXL, so. I don't know.
Excellent. Man, I don't know y'all, I'm showing up late, I don't know where to see the picture.
Good job.
Better take your sister's plaque too.
Yeah, get your sisters.
Here is Miss Remy's play.
Thank you.
And not, certainly, last but not least, so representing Bronson Elementary, so Miss Gemma Sylvie for ELA. She's got this beautiful flower dress on, so. So, did I miss Williston Middle High School? So Ian Martell. Ian? Okay, all right, so those, so we will make sure and send those home with our principals, so get those there, so. But it is one of the best times to be able to celebrate, and Carson, you are so right. So without our teachers and our principals, so, and the hard work that they put in, and our aides, and let's not forget, Carson, so I'm sure those lunch ladies feed you a good lunch every now and again, so they help you
Yes,
if
sir,
you don't
they
have a
do.
full belly, so you can't be studying, so with that, Madam Chair, I don't know if you would like to take a recess to let anybody leave if they would like. We more than welcome them to stay, but I know they may have better pressing places to be if they'd like. So.
Yes, sir. We'll take a 5-minute recess or less, and you're welcome to stay, as Mr. Superintendent said, or you can exit out the doors, whichever you prefer. Thank you for being here. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good job. And we'll move to the adoption of the agenda.
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Welcome, everybody. Well, I said hello to everybody, and welcome to our guests this evening. We will go directly to 5 and, pardon me, we'll go directly to 6, and it'll be Mr. Lott.
Good evening.
Hello.
So this will be our third time bringing these policies before you. And we've had adequate time for advertisement. We've had no public comments on these two potential new policies. Remember, one of them, the report of misconduct came at the request of our state auditors in order to become more compliant with their demands. And then the use of facilities came to light after some new guidance from Safe Schools. And so that's the reason for these two new policies. So at this time, unless there are questions, we'd ask for approval of these policies.
I make a motion to approve both policies.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed, same sign. Policy is passed. Thank you, Mr. Lott. Move on to number 7, Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, ma'am. So just wanted to open the floor to discuss for you guys what the board would like for their legislative platform to be. And so just as an opportunity to be able to talk in the sunshine. So that's where we're at. So, and I will kind of turn it over to you guys on what you see should be your legislative. And obviously it would be a living document that would be continued to go until at point you were ready as a board to adopt it formally.
Mr. Coward, is this a timely thing that needs to be done or talked about right now?
No, ma'am, it doesn't have to be. So I understand we will have 2 new board members that will be joining. So just was wanted to put it out there. So board didn't think that it was being forgotten. So on my end. So
Thank you for that. I would like to see it moved to later when new board members are here and y'all
Agreed.
work as a team to work on that.
I agree.
Agree, and Mr. Whitehurst being the liaison. Okay, so we will,
is there a motion to maybe postpone to a different
Full-
time?
I make the motion to postpone until the November 21st meeting?
19th.
19th meeting, thank you.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to move the legislative agenda potential topics to November 19th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
One thing, okay, moving on to hurricane, and it kind of ties with legislative. As we do go, there are rumblings that there may be a special legislative session with that. And board, I would just ask for your permission to continue to, as we know that that roofing project did not go, if that was something that could be pushed through during that time when a special session, if it was to happen before November 19th, if I would have the board's blessing to continue to work on those items.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And so with that, sorry.
That's okay. The motion and a second to continue, Mr. Superintendent, to discuss if it's before November 19th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes to continue, Mr. Superintendent.
Continuing the comments, the discussion on hurricane, so just, this, you'll see this letter here, but to kind of share about this letter, you saw, so Miss Bray, who was back here, and obviously, so Miss Hancock, during the previous storms, and obviously almost all of our admin at one point in time have cycled through. Over this past storm, Hurricane Milton, we sheltered at Bronson Elementary in special needs 14 patients, 8 caregivers, so for a total of 22, along with 12 health department employees that were there with that. And then at Bronson Middle High School, so we sheltered 223 individuals, so many of them that were outside of Levy County, as they found shelter here in Levy County, along with 15 pets. So as you see the letter that I've handed you, this is an action item that I'm asking that you would allow me to present this. So through the process of things, take back last week on Monday at the point, actually back that up. On Saturday night, whenever I received the text from the county manager saying we were going to have an all-hands meeting at 2 p.m. on Sunday, things you kind of shift into a different role. And as those are happening, so Mr. Lott obviously takes time and goes to those meetings and was there, Breezy, Adam, along with then our shelters. But one of the things that with this here is the ability to track their time before they're actually on storm duty. So Monday, basically, Mr. Lott's full day outside of maybe about an hour and a half, he had to leave the admin meeting working on the preparations of opening storm shelters, he and Breezy in this. So in this here, this is a way that we could recoup some of those dollars of the time, because we don't have a mechanism right now within finance to be able to set aside what was spent until we're in the storm, so to speak, until they're on the clock in the storm shelter. So as you see there, what we're asking is that we could ask for a flat fee up front to kind of help offset some of those costs that the district is bearing right now. So I'm actioning for items, or an actionable item, to allow me to present this to the county manager and the county commissioners, so.
So the 15% would,
So if we have, let's say we had, through hours of storm cleanup, it was $50,000 between time, whatever it may be, then it would be 15% of the 50,000. So yes, that would be 5,500 would go to set aside to be able to help offset the times when we're not working during a storm or not after a storm when it's in cleanup mode, those type of things. So
and the county commission's picking it up with EOC or individually? Like EOC is picking that up, or just the county commission?
it depends on the storms, on whether they meet their threshold. So with that, but it would be either the county or the EOC or reimbursed by the state. So
And these are those expenses that are
not captured. So
right, when the storms hit and
when we're stopping,
before.
working on education and working on opening shelters, working on setting up the logistics of things. Breezy's taking his men from cleaning up or working on an AC unit in Cedar Key to now coming back to make sure that we have generators in sight, whether we have the gas tanks filled up. Joe's preparing whether we're going to need buses for Central Florida Electric in our mutual aid agreement to help them as they have linemen here to be able to move around. So yes, sir, that's what this is.
I move approved.
Second.
Do we send in for reimbursement already for any of that once
No.
the storm?
No.
So nothing gets sent to EOC, like damage or anything like, damage does, but not
Dam-
this sort of
correct.
topic?
Correct.
Basically, the MOU, the way it's written currently, if we are on our own time, if we're on district time, that is time that we can't turn into them to get reimbursed. And so the way we're looking at this, if I'm working on their work, I'm not working on district work. So why shouldn't they foot the bill? Basically, we're working for them on our time for free, is the way. And so in order to offset some of that expense, I'm gonna get paid one way or the other, but if I'm working on their work, they should be paying, not the district. And
Have
that's
they
kinda-
ever done that, Mr. Lott, in the past?
In the past, it was done a little bit different in that we had to submit our own reimbursement through FEMA, which was a absolute nightmare. The way it's done now is we submit what we're allowed to, based on the MOU, to the county, and then they pay us, and then they seek reimbursement from FEMA. So that's kind of the way it's moving money around. But certainly the system we have now is much better than what we had years ago. We had to go through all of the FEMA reimbursement protocols, which are an absolute nightmare. So this is better, but I do feel like, with the number of hurricanes that we've had, the school district is footing the bill for work that should be on them, not us.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think
Thank
you
you.
summed it up well just then. He's over here working on school district stuff. That has to stop. Now you go work for those guys. And this work is, you're very efficient, but this work goes undone, for lack of a better way. And now you've got to catch up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Your work after storm has doubled because you got to catch up because you're working for these guys. And, yeah, I mean, if you came to work for me, it'd be me paying you instead of the school district.
We don't feel it's exorbitant, we feel it's a realistic figure, so
Yeah.
Ms. Lake, is the one, who helped pin this, and this was her brainchild, so with this, just an easy way of being able to recoup some of those costs and make it fair through the district and the cooperation. So we opened the shelters, we've manned the shelters, there's different ways that we could go about that. We could not man the shelters, but then you risk the opportunity of people to be roaming your campuses, and we've gone through that before where Red Cross ran our shelters, and then we end up with having more damages from people not being somewhat policed, so for a lack of a better word.
Okay, so you did make a motion
Yes.
already. Was there a
Second.
second?
Yes,
Okay,
second.
Mrs. Brookins, second. So I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes, Mr. Superintendent.
Last two things, just to kind of be thinking about, so not asking for action on this, but hurricane days, so as we are, Mr. Bennett, how many days are we down right now for total?
Total this year, Cedar Key has lost 9 instructional days.
9? 9.
9, and then
Nine
the
is-
district is 7.
7.
Thank you.
So with that, I'm not asking you to be making it actionable, we'll bring that back, but kind of the thought process is the Monday and Tuesday of Thanksgiving, making those instructional days, so for everybody in the county. And then for Cedar Key, we would also add extending the exam days, so we kind of give them just almost another full day, but we're there. We are getting, razor thin, so on our numbers, and with us still being 7 weeks away from storm season being finished, and we also know that we had a freak weather incident last year in the spring where we lost days, so that's just some days to be thinking about, to be bringing for you guys.
Do you foresee the governor forgiving any days?
I won't say never. DOE has held firm. They did give some leeway on FTE, on being able to go forward, basically. So from before FTE week started, capture a day. And then they also, so we had two different incidents. You have Helene and then you have Milton. So with that, if I had a crystal ball, I think it's gonna depend on how long the districts down south are out. My last report was Pinellas was going back up on Wednesday. I haven't heard about further south, so like Braden, Manatee, and Sarasota, where it was, basically where the eye came on. So I will keep checking with those, but I've had some conversations with Polk County, and different things on them, so as I see. I think it's in the realm of possibility, but I also think part of the days that I'm presenting to you would be days, we've already backed up the 9 weeks to end on Friday of this week, to allow these 3 days to be able to make up assignments and things like that to finish out the 9 weeks. I think having those days instruction in the fall keeps the semesters about even, and also helps those days of instruction, puts a couple more days of instruction back in place in the fall semester instead of trying to kick the can to the spring. So, but those are my things, and that's just for you to be thinking about, and we'll have another opportunity to talk about this. So, last two things are, and this is an actionable item, I would like to propose moving the October 22nd board meeting back 1 week to the 29th, since we were backed up 1 week. That would be helpful with staff and some of the things that we have going on to get through, because we also have negotiations on October 21st with our LCEA, and I'm very optimistic that we will have possible tentative
22nd,
agreement
July.
that would give them time to ratify and then bring to the board, versus having a board meeting on the 22nd where we wouldn't have any time for the union to ratify an agreement. So I'm being hopeful. Once again, Ms. Lake has put a lot of extra effort and has a very, very robust salary package for all of our employees. And so with that October 21st, that's why I'm asking for you to move the board meeting back 1 week.
I move we move the board meeting to
Second.
October 29th.
Sorry, second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second to take October 22nd board meeting and move it to the 29th, same time,
Yes, ma'am.
9 a.m. I have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes to move the board meeting from the 22nd to the 29th, same time, 9 a.m.
And last but not least, so as we know, with House Bill 1473, the increased scrutiny on security and all the things, and we know that each of our communities is different. Cedar Key is a unique place, and with that, I was asking and realizing, knowing that Mr. Whitehurst is not here, once again, this is something just food for thought, but really would like a little bit of direction. So I would ask the board if they have any interest of me going before the city of Cedar Key and asking if they would like to enter negotiations to possibly either land swap or sell the city of Cedar Key property that is inside of our secure perimeter and goes to within the 10 feet inside the gymnasium in Cedar Key. That way, that property would be the district's property. The district has made the Rosewood property available. It was used this time for the first. There are some options. So we have some land across the street that we could swap with them. We also have 10 acres out in Rosewood that is adjacent to the ball field that could be possible the city might use, high and dry. So just some different options. So we'd like to open that up for a discussion with the board.
So when do you want to start those discussions with?
Well, I'd like to hear if you guys, what you have, so, and if you have any thoughts on that. And then I would like the opportunity to go before the board, the city of Cedar Key, at their next board meeting and just kind of judge. So I have a feeling I know how it'll be met, but at least it would be,
It's worth asking, but I think I know how you'll be met as well. with their feelings about it being
I think the idea is understanding
discussed.
what the parameters are that we have for safety and security. And last year, it was, the city, I do not believe was good partnership where but eventually our principal and our people were out manning a gate for the city property instead of teaching classes, and I don't believe that that was fair. I believe that there was a conversation that this was a choice that was made by individuals in the city, that I had a conversation with the police chief at 7:30. He was going to secure the gate, and then he never showed up. And I was told that he had a phone call from somebody telling him that it was not the city's job to handle that. So it's a very difficult thing,
Tricky situation.
having a perimeter that you have to secure, that by law, I could lose my job, Adam can lose his job. So, because it's not secure. And so then in a time of storm where we're trying to be good neighbors, we've offered up the Rosewood property. They did take us up on it. It was a stumbling block to getting the school back open. So out of having a meeting, so with parents and basically putting out a message from the district, so we couldn't get supplies on to that campus. We couldn't get a 10-stall bathroom onto that campus because of all the things, all the property, personal property. And at some point in time, personal property is going to be picked up and damaged during the storm, and it's going to damage our buildings, and we're going to be the one that's on the hook. And I think it's very short-sighted would be very short-sighted. So when there's a good opportunity here for the city, so, but.
I'm all for you going into negotiations. I don't know, and this is intrigued me with more questions, though. If they are not receptive to it, what recourse do we have about that situation? I mean, we don't have to open up our Rosewood property, and that's just us being jerks, but, you know, that would be frowned on. Wouldn't
And I
necessarily say
don't,
do that.
I'm very thankful of the people that did take advantage of Rosewood. So it's a very fine line. The number of people that maybe aren't local Cedar Key people that store things there. So, but whenever you can't maneuver, you can't run car pickup, car drop off. You can't run buses through there because of the amount. And then whenever you have either yourself or you have SROs or I think it was Osceola, I think it was also National Guard, were going and getting plate numbers and then getting them run. So Adam ran plates for me to be able to then try and contact individuals. I got phone numbers to contact individuals to try and move vehicles so we could put the 10-stall bathroom on there as a precaution, because of knowing that, you know, our first communication with the water and sewer was it was going to be weeks. They didn't even have a clue on when water and sewer was going to be back. Water is still not back. Saltwater intrusion into the well out there, so we're still on bottled water where we're giving bottled water out. So we delivered 4 pallets of water there with that, along with some extra bottled water that we delivered. So there's a lot of things that went into that, and I pray the day never comes, but there was a solid plan, especially for a solid plan for FTE, for students from Cedar Key to be safe at Chiefland Elementary and Chiefland Middle High School. And that plan would have provided them their own classroom, so they wouldn't have been put in with other kids. They had their own space at Chiefland Middle High School. Lunches were going to be separate. Everything was going to be separate, where it was almost like a school within a school. So on both those campuses and with their own teachers. And thankful that we were able to get it cleaned up. Thankful that we were able to get power restored. So on Monday morning about 10:30, so there to Cedar Key, and then to be able to get the boats and trailers and golf carts and kayaks out of the field so we could run parent pickup and drop off. So very thankful that we were able to at least open up on Wednesday of that week. now knowing what we know now with Milton approaching and being down then Tuesday through the end of last week. So, there's a lot of things that go into it. So, like I said, I pray that we never come to that point, but there is a good plan in place to be able to house those students, whether it's a short period of time, whether it's enough time to get repairs made, whatnot. And it was at that point in time, so we obviously had the two plans going, but it was the right call, so.
So you need a motion from us that you can negotiate or
So I have a consensus from you guys to go and approach, so, the city?
Yes, I don't know enough about the land swap, but I feel like hopefully everyone will work together for the safety and security of our kids. And when Adam presented to us that night the personal liability that falls on him, he does such a good job of protecting all of our kids and staff. I feel like it's our job to protect him as well. And if it's a situation, and I don't know enough about it, I'd like to know more, but hopefully everybody's on the same page with the kids and our staff being safe and doing whatever we have to do to abide by the House bill. So,
yes.
Well, possibly some of the board members could be there with you during that night. If you'll advise us of what night you choose, then we could be present and hear the comments from them as well and take that in.
Okay.
That's all I have right there, so that was a lot, I know.
Okay, so, council, that does not have to be an actionable item, does it? Right. Did we lose him?
I don't know if we got him.
Sorry, I was on, sorry, no, that's okay, you can give directions, it doesn't have to be actionable.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, that's okay. Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. We'll move on to public comments. Is there anyone visiting tonight that would like to approach the podium and speak to the board and the superintendent? Nope, just listening. Thank you for being here. We will move to, on item 10, you'll see that we are postponing the approval of minutes from the September 24th board meeting minutes for the next meeting. And we will move on to 11, which is the consent agenda. Mrs. Brookins, would you like to start, please?
Yes, I have everything answered, thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Clemency?
all my questions were answered.
Mr. Asborn?
I forgot to ask about this one thing. On this Real Essentials curriculum thing?
Yes.
Have we done that before?
Yes, that's
and
the
it's just a re-pick up of the same.
Yes, sir,
old thing,
it's the curriculum Unity Works uses for the reproductive health.
right? Okay. I thought that, but I wasn't sure. So that's it.
Change the name.
Yes.
Change the name.
Just change
And
it.
that was one of my questions because Dr. Hanlon and I had sat, it's the same group that's teaching it, and they didn't change anything to any of the wording in either area. Thank you. Now, other than that, my questions were answered. Do I have a motion to accept the consent
moved.
agenda?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Consent agenda passes. We'll move on to finance, 12.
I make the motion to approve the finance items.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Motion passes for finance. Mr. Superintendent?
Yes. I'd like to read this into the record, so. This is Levy County Superintendent Proclamation. Whereas November 2024 has been designated DECA month, and whereas the mission of DECA is to prepare emerging leaders and entrepreneurs in marketing, finance, hospitality, and management. And whereas DECA's guiding principles are designed to explain how DECA fulfills their mission, and whereas DECA is a student organization that encourages the development of business marketing and leadership skills in high school through classroom instruction, student conferences, and competitive events. And whereas DECA enhances the co-curricular education of members through a comprehensive program that integrates into classroom instruction, applies learning, connects to business, and promotes competition. And Whereas DECA's activities assist in the development of academically prepared, community-oriented, professionally responsible, experienced leaders, and whereas DECA's attributes and values describe the organization's priorities and standards, including competence, innovation, integrity, and teamwork. Now therefore, I, Christopher Cowart, Superintendent of Levy County School Board, do hereby proclaim November 1st through the 30th, 2024 as DECA month. So, as I'm reading that in, so we wanted that on the record, that way it'll be there for November, so. It'll be signed into the record. We appreciate Ms. Gill and DECA. They were able to go out to Anaheim, California, so this year. So we want to go ahead and get this on the record for them, so. And with that, so I've talked enough about hurricanes and all the things that are going on, so, but if there is such a bright spot, so was able to go to Perry and our schools foundation, so received $50,000, so for, from Hurricane Helene, so, and this is going to Miss Annie, and she's working with Volunteer Florida on the parameters on how that will be divvied up, so. Last year, it was able to help with the, so mitigation there for the portables in Cedar Key. So that was one of the ways that those dollars, and then it was also helping some of our displaced students and staff members on different items that they had so that they could needed help with. So, and with that, so I'll sit here and be quiet, so.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent, for all the information. Mrs. Brookins, would you like to start with board
I
comments?
think that's great, the $50,000 is gonna go towards our schools, and that's wonderful news. I really appreciate hearing that. I think it's been a trying time for everybody with the hurricanes, but everybody just really came together and worked, and it has been tough, but everybody's really pulled together and done an excellent job, because everybody's had to be on overload, and Saturday nights and Sunday meetings, and teachers, students. So it has been a stressful time, so we need to recognize that and certainly appreciate everything that they've all done. With that, that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Brookins. Mrs. Clemenza.
Sorry. Sorry. Yes, our communities, I'm thankful that we didn't have loss of life, and it's just been, as bad as everything has been, to see people come together and volunteer, and schools help schools. I was talking to Dee earlier, and people from Cedar Key were coming to give a certain supply to Yankeetown. So it makes you feel good about humanity also in these times. I want to thank you to the district for adjusting meetings this week and letting teachers be in the classroom and teaching. I know that that's very much appreciated in Yankeetown and probably all of our schools. And thank you to Breezy and everyone that works with him, because like Ms. Westphal said, for our teachers and students to come back to a sense of normalcy on campus and things picked up and cleaned up is much appreciated. So thank you to all of you guys that do such a great job for Levy County. And Women's Club and the whole community in Yankeetown is such a special community that's just, I mean, the clothes that have been donated, the work, the volunteers is just remarkable. So super proud of our county. That's all I have.
Thank you, Mrs. Clemenza. Mr. Osborne.
I agree with what's been previously said. That it's amazing how this little small county of hardworking people all pulled together. There are some tragic stories, not ultimate tragic, but tragic from the aspect of being business owners and what have you in our certain areas. And have one and then have another right behind it. It's amazing how so many people have done such a great job. A lot of unsung heroes out there. I would also like to commend our superintendent. He went into a town that was rocked with a solid plan of how to make sure children's education wasn't interrupted, and he was also willing to amend that. That's a sign of good leadership, and I appreciate his hard work on it. And for those of y'all that don't know, we had a couple hurricanes. So that stopped our annual FFA alumni fish fry. We did have to stop that. It was, when a 3 and a 4 show up, we will kind of back off catching mullet. But that has been moved to the 24th of October, and that's a Thursday. That's immediately following the Bronson High School homecoming parade, and we will be serving those nice fresh fried mullet dinners at the corner, at the red light, at what they call the food truck chuck, whatever they call it down there. They will be set up down there, the FFA alumni. Those, all money raised goes directly to support the Bronson FFA chapter, and it is by far the best fried mullet dinner you will receive in Bronson, Florida, on Thursday, October the 24th. So I encourage anybody that needs a ticket. I got some. I'll hook you up. They're a little cheaper if you buy them in advance. And so if you need some, you can see me. You can also see Mac Huber. Breezy, if you need one, go see Mac. He's got some tickets too. And he'll sell them to you. And if he don't, I will. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Asbell. I'll also say the outpouring of love that many other schools gave our district was amazing. Not to take away from all the volunteers that showed up this weekend in Cedar Key and initially last weekend, bless you. And it was great to be able to use the school, so I appreciate the district staff and Mr. Superintendent coming together and allowing that to happen, because we needed the space there to have the volunteers come in on that side. And just one little special story, there were 6 students that showed up, and I'm waiting for one of them to send me all the names of everybody so I could put a little post, but they came from Gainesville High School, and there were 6 seniors, and they showed up last Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning. What can we do? And, you know, we'd send them out to an area, and they would come back, and they say, okay, we're done, where else can we go? They were the last ones to come back in at 5. They did get lunch, but they did this all day, and we asked about community service hours, and they were like, nope, don't worry about that. It's fine. And they just were a group of 6 friends, and I did get to take their picture, so I'm waiting on, you know, clarification, like I said, for all their names. And a lot of people came pouring out to help. But I didn't see 6 seniors from another school that worked so hard, and it was a good feeling to see that. And so many people had given so much. And to DECA, I know Mrs. Gill does work very hard, and there was a trip that was canceled in November for DECA, but she still is selling some T-shirts to try and gain those funds back. So you can always reach out to her. And thank you to the staff here at the district that worked so hard during these storms. I know it was not easy on everyone. And I talked with Mr. Slemp and Mrs. Crosby. The only thing they're working on right now, it's senior night tonight in volleyball, so the girls get to have that. And they didn't really have anything else for me to announce, other that they're doing this rescheduling of all their events, so they're working hard on that and getting that situated before moving forward, and that's what they wanted me to tell everyone. And that's all I have. There's no further business. Meeting is adjourned.